Okay, I'm gonna paint the background with a cool color. If you're noticing that it's a different still life than the one I started out with, you are right about that. I've recorded this twice, and both times it deletes my recording. So here's what the original still life that I started with basic washes looked like, and I painted the background of it. That's kind of what we're gonna try and go for right now. What I did was prop my surface up so it slants toward me. Flat is not an ideal surface to be painting on, so you should try and find some books. I found this block to put underneath my painting so that it slants towards me and it gives me a better perspective. And then I have room for my palette underneath the painting. I can hold the palette in my hand or whatever. So I'm gonna start with, I'm looking for these blues. When I look at the painting of this image, I can see that the background uses mostly this kind of gray, which is this blue, and then the shadows look closer to something here. So I'm gonna be using straight up blue and some tints of it. If it doesn't match exactly, that's fine. So I'm gonna start with the dark shadows here. And I wanna keep this picture close by so I can have it as a reference. You can keep your laptop open or your phone, wherever you are looking at the picture, but have it in front of you. Do not try and paint this from memory. And don't try and paint the whole thing by following me, because I'm not gonna paint the whole thing in front of you. You're gonna have to do some of this work on your own. So while this is still a little bit dry, wet, I'm gonna add some of the blue background, the lighter blue background, because what that's gonna do is let me blend the dark into the light and give that sort of blurred edge look, the fuzzy edge look here. And I can dip my brush into the water so that it's a little bit more fluid. It's okay if you see brush marks in your painting, that's fine, because this is a painting, so don't worry about it not blending totally smooth. If that's your goal, okay. It's good to have goals, but it's not a requirement of the assignment to never see your brush marks. I'm noticing it's a little bit darker down here than up on the top. So you see I keep kind of like dipping my brush in some water. It makes it easier to spread the paint. And if it's still wet, I can get a little bit of the darker blue on the brush and sort of blend that in. Lighter, darker, lighter, darker. I like to do the background first because if I overlap any of the foreground shapes, it's not gonna matter, because I can always paint this right on top of anything that I overlapped. Paint covers paint. Acrylic paint is great that way. It's easier than watercolors in that respect. So I'm just gonna keep going and looking at my reference image and looking for the values to match. And then when I'm done, we'll move on to the foreground.